What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So Fox News is actually very concerned about the Senate race in Texas. I'm going to show you a clip, and then I'm also going to show you another clip of Ken Paxton actually asking for donations. And I just want you to watch it because it's pretty interesting. And now he posted this, and it's a unique delivery, so you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. If you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, so let's get right into this. I want to show you, first, I'm going to show you Ken Paxton.
Hi, Ken Paxton, Texas Attorney General running against far-left Democrat for Senate here in Texas. We have a critical fundraising deadline approaching, and I need your help. I'm making a heartfelt request for your help. Please chip in now. Thank you.
Now, just getting into what he's actually talking about, I mean, he's not very enthusiastic about asking for donations, and he's not really giving people any real reason to donate. Usually when you're asking for donations, you're going to give people a reason to give you donations. You're going to say what you want to do, your plan. I have yet to hear Paxton's plan moving forward as a senator. He's not talking about it. He'll talk about Talarico and how Talarico's a vegetarian and all this and all that, but he doesn't get into what he wants to do as senator. And that's what people want to hear. And so if you want people to donate to you, you need to give them something. You can't just say, you know, the far left Talarico, we're running against him, so give me money. No, you have to say, look, this is what I want to do as your next senator. And now next, I want to show you this video clip from Fox News. They are very concerned. They're looking at the fundraising numbers, and Talarico is doing really well, and Paxton is not.
Weasley. Tommy, so Ken Paxton brought in $9 million April through June. Talarico brought in $30 million. Now, I'm not saying fundraising is everything, but it is one of the metrics to show the energy behind a candidate. Do you think this is more of like kind of a pro-Cornyn kind of hangover of like get through the primary, but then the Republicans will coalesce around Paxton, or is it he's a flawed candidate, or is it that Talarico is that energetic to Democrats?
I think that Democrats see Talarico as like, if we can win Texas with Talarico, we can do anything, right? So I think that there's this delusional thirst for it, which I think is going to end up being futile. But I will say that we do have a flawed candidate on the right. We just do. Somebody who's won statewide before probably can do it again, but in this position. But I will say, probably not as much enthusiasm for fundraising for someone like a Paxton, just because of some of the hurdles and the obstacles in the way there. I think at the end of the day, he's going to pull out a victory. But I love that we can laugh at Talarico because he's so easy to laugh at. I would just caution Republicans from laughing too hard. I would hate for us to look ridiculous.
And that last part that she was talking about there, the whole laughing at Talarico, you can laugh, but that's not policy. That's not people. I mean, if you're going to vote for someone, and this is, you know, let's look at the voters in Texas. If you're going to vote for someone, you should be voting for someone who's going to help you, not just tease the other side, not just have jokes about the other side. You're not voting for a comedian. You're actually voting for someone to represent you. And so, yes, you can have all these different slogans, names, whatever, nicknames for Talarico, but what are you going to do to help voters in Texas? That is what's important. And that's one of the reasons why I think Paxton is struggling with fundraising. He's struggling with fundraising because he's not putting that out there. Look at Talarico. Let's go to the other side. Talarico is actually talking about policy, talking about things that he wants to do to make voters in Texas make their lives better. He's talking about things like that. He's talking about corruption. He's talking about the fact that the reason why you can't afford things is because of some of the different things that we're seeing going on in D.C. right now. And people resonate with that. People understand right now things are tough. Things are expensive, and they're not getting any cheaper. And so someone needs to talk about those things. Someone needs to address those issues. But when you have Paxton not even addressing those issues, and I'm telling you, I've watched a few speeches from Paxton. I've watched some interviews from Paxton. He is not really talking about what he wants to do in the future, what his plan is for the future. And that's what he's going to have to do if he wants to have a chance to win. Now, I know in Texas, it's already a red state, so Talarico is up against the wall. But when we're looking at fundraising, you look at polling, You look at the prediction market. The prediction market is actually showing that Paxton is ahead. We look at polling, it's neck and neck. And then when we look at fundraising, we see that Talarico is outperforming Paxton. Now, fundraising can come from all over the U.S., so it doesn't have to just come from Texas. And so that could be something that's going on when it comes to Talarico. Or Talarico could be pulling in these small dollar donors. That could be, and if Talarico's, and I don't know, I haven't looked at exactly what they were talking about here. I have to do some more research into that. But if he's getting the small dollar donors, if Talarico is, then that's really good news for Talarico, for their campaign, because that's showing that you have a lot of support. And we're not talking about these big corporations that are supporting him. We're talking about everyday people who are going to go and vote. Because generally, if you are a person who donates to a campaign, you're more than likely going to vote. And you're probably going to vote for that candidate because you're donating money to that candidate. When it's corporations, they send money on both sides a lot of times, because they just want to hedge their bet. They want to make sure whatever candidate gets in, they can say, hey, we supported your campaign. But when it comes to small dollar donors, they're usually only donating to one candidate, the candidate that they want to win. And the reason why Fox News, they were really concerned about this is when you look at the Senate map, it all makes sense, because if Democrats can win in Texas, they have if they win in Texas, it's likely that they will take back control of the Senate, because we're going to see other states move as well. And remember, Democrats only need to net 4 of these seats. They need to defend the 3 and net the 4. Okay, so defending Georgia, defending Michigan, defending New Hampshire, and then net 4 seats. They have pathways. And if Texas goes blue, they even have more opportunities. And this is what I'm talking about. North Carolina, let's say Democrats win in North Carolina. Let's say they pull it out in Maine. We don't know what's happening in Maine yet. And so we'll have to find out who the Democrat is after the selection process in Maine. But if Democrats can win in Maine, and remember, Maine is a blue state now. And so if Democrats pick the right candidate in Maine, then they have a real shot at winning. We're talking about Alaska. I think Peltola still has a very good shot at winning in Alaska. And then when we get to Texas, Iowa, and Ohio, this is why Texas is very important, because if Democrats can win in Texas, that right there would put them over the top. They would have 51, and Republicans would be at 49. Democrats would take back control of the Senate. And so that's why Texas is very important. And when we're looking at Iowa right now is very close. It's a toss-up right now. Most models that you're looking at now, they're showing that Iowa is a toss-up. When we look at Ohio is very close as well. You have polling showing both candidates with the lead. Now remember, Husted is the incumbent, and in some polls, he's not in the lead. We have Sherrod Brown in the lead. Sherrod Brown, he's been a senator before, out of Ohio. He knows how to win in Ohio. And if we break this down and we look at all the states that I think are very close, so these 6 states I think are very close. I'm not counting the states that the Democrats need to defend, these other 3 states. But if we're just looking at the ones that Democrats have a chance of flipping, I would say Texas is right. I mean, they're all pretty much around the same level. I'm not looking at any of these states and saying, you know what, this is going to be a long shot for Democrats. I'm saying that most of these right now could be considered toss-ups. Most of them, if not all of them. I mean, I think that the hardest win for Democrats when we're looking at these 6 is probably going to be Iowa. I think Texas I think if we're looking at the order here, and this is just the order, I'm not saying that Democrats would win all of these. I think North Carolina would be number 1. I still think Maine would be number 2 as far as the likelihood of Democrats flipping. I think we would then move to Alaska, and then we would move to Ohio, Texas, and then we would move to Iowa. And so the latest numbers coming in when we're talking about fundraising, that is a big sign for Talarico. That's good for Talarico because it's showing that he's able to continue to raise money. Now remember, back right after the primary, he raised a lot of money, and he was able to raise money, and the Republicans still had that runoff, the runoff between Paxton and Cornyn. And so they were still spending money in that runoff, but Talarico was able to just fundraise and raise a lot of money, and now he's raising even more money. And so the main takeaway here is, yes, you should be following the money. You should be following the money. You should be looking at the polls. You should be looking at the prediction market. You should be looking at everything and just using them as a tool. You don't just take one and say, well, the prediction market's saying this, so this is what we should be listening to. We should be looking at everything and look for trends. And right now, the trend, although the prediction market, as I stated, the prediction market did show that Paxton was ahead, but slightly. And here's a prediction market Kalshi on the right-hand side here. So Ken Paxton at 57, James Talarico at 42. But then when we look at the polling, like I'm saying, we're looking at the polling, they're going back and forth. You have Talarico winning one, you have Paxton winning the other. So the race is very, very close. And so now I want to hand it off to you. What do you think about these fundraising numbers? Do you think this is a really good sign for Talarico? Do you think Paxton is going to be in trouble if he's not able to raise the amount of money that Talarico can raise? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.